Rockets from the legislators. Anybody? Legislator Weider?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, and good evening to all. On the night of November 22, 1963, while this great nation was still in shock, trying to make sense of the senseless act earlier that day, the assassination of President Kennedy, the legendary television newscaster Chet Huntley made the following poignant remarks. Quote, "There is in this country, and has been for too long, an ominous and sickening popularity of hatred."
Popularity of hatred. The body of the president lying at this moment in Washington is the thundering testimonial of what hatred comes to and the revolting excesses it perpetrates. Hatred is self-generating, contagious. It feeds upon itself and explodes into violence. It is no inexplicable phenomenon that there are pockets of hatred in our country, areas and communities where the disease is permitted or encouraged or given status by those who can and do influence others. You and I have heard in recent months someone say, those Kennedys ought to be shot. A well-known national magazine recently carried an article saying Chief Justice Warren should be hanged. In its own defense, it said it was only joking, but the left has been equally bad. Tonight, it might be the hope and the resolve of all of us that we've heard the last of this kind of talk, jocular or serious, for the result is tragically the same.
For the result is tragically the same. Unquote. Unfortunately, over 50 years later, Chad's hopes and aspirations never came to fruition. At the next legislative meeting, the county executive, Mr. Ed Day, will give his State of the County remarks. He will talk and take credit for everything good happening in this great county. But what he will in all likelihood not talk about, and certainly not attribute to any of his actions, is the acceptable hate permeating in the hearts and minds of some in Rockland County towards the Orthodox and Hasidic Jewish community. With the advent and easy access of social media, the hatred has taken on a depraved and perverted life of its own. Recently, Mr. Ed Day posted on his Facebook page a post about homelessness in Rockland County. An individual posted the following comment, quote, "Go after the scum cult that saps the county, and plenty would be available to help those that truly need it. An unmarried mother of 7 living in Muncie shouldn't receive help because the state doesn't recognize that marriage," unquote. Does anyone here have any doubt to what group the commentary was referring to, scum cult and living in Muncie? Another person responded with, quote, "I would like to click 1,000 likes on the comment." Mr. Ed Day engaged in a conversation with those posting this type of vitriol and even appears to agree with those sentiments, not even denouncing any of it. And another post by Mr. Ed Day on his Facebook page, he denounces a development application by a Hasidic Orthodox Jew, and we find the following comments, quote, "And the Hasis will get their way because they will pay somebody off higher up in government and sweep it under the rug." Another comment reads as following, "The cancer has spread." And finally, a comment reads simply, "Cancer has spread and it's terminal." Once again, Mr. Ed Day has not uttered a single word of rebuke. There's currently a county employee in his job for the county interacts with members of the Hasidic and Orthodox Jewish community. He has a Facebook page infested with degenerate hate directed towards the Hasidic and Orthodox Jewish community in Rockland County, the notorious Block the Block Vote Facebook page. Let me read one of many shocking comments from Block the Block Vote Facebook page on a post about the same development Mr. Edday riled against. Quote, "It's nearly funny. Here they are planning to place thousands of their own kind right next to a dangerous pipeline. Well, I guess if it blows, our problem will be solved, because I do not expect too many survivors." Unquote. It is worth mentioning that the person posted this comment purports to work also for the county of Rockland. A third Facebook page supposedly dedicated to issues in the town of Clarkstown, but somehow has become another Facebook page directed towards hate and animus towards the Hasidic and Orthodox Jewish community. A Facebook page called Clarkstown What They Don't Want You to Know. They too chimed in on the very same development issue Mr. Edday riled against. And not so shockingly, the following comments appear. Quote, "If this goes through, it will be another front for another Hasidic Orthodox enclave." Another comment, "The end is near for Rockland County. Elected officials, bought and paid for, are allowing this cancer to spread unchecked. Criminals." Or this comment, "They are ruining the beautiful county like they do everything else. So sad." And finally, this shocking comment, quote, "Better start fighting this now. New York is turning into a big Hasidic community. Wonder who will foot the bill when everyone moves. We know those losers want everyone to pay their way for them and their numerous special needs kids because of all the inbreeding. Fight, fight, fight." These types of comments have been appearing on various local Facebook pages in the last few years. Sadly, it is becoming the norm. Examples I cited before are only very few, a sample of very few from only the last week alone. The 3 Facebook pages I mentioned before has a total of 24,885 likes combined. Shocking indeed. I have talked about this hatred on previous occasions, and I will continue to speak out. I will not tire, nor waver, or be silenced. In the face of raw, adulterated, and dark hatred, there is no other choice but to shed a light, regardless of how uncomfortable it may be. Mr. Edday, the Orthodox and Hasidic community are pleading with you. Enough is enough. The time for hatred to retire can't come soon enough. But the Hasidic and Orthodox Jewish community here in Rockland County trembles with fear and wonders, will it take a tragedy that will ultimately wake up the good people of Rockland County?
Anybody else have any comments? Legislator Earl.
Wow, that's shocking to hear that. Here we are in 2016 trying to bridge the gap with Mr. Edday and the legislators. But thanks, Legislative Leader, for bringing that to our attention. It's very, very touching.